This is another episode of the Backstage Sports Podcast. I'm Joe Connor.
I'm Brian Bird, the guest host.
That's right. So we got a guest host today because shout out to JT. JT is dealing with a family emergency. Y'all know how life is in a COVID. So he had to run last minute to go deal with some family stuff. So shout out to B for stepping in the last minute. And we're going to keep the train moving like everybody else is trying to do in the COVID. Today, we have a very special guest. This guy hails from Kansas. If you're not watching, you know where he hails from because he representing with the jersey straight off
yes,
top,
sir.
Right off the top rope. Hails from Kansas City, Missouri. He is an amazing writer, musician, and producer. He's worked with a bunch of artists that you guys know and love, like 7th Streeter, Young Jeezy, Tech 9, K. Michelle, T-Pain, Pharrell Williams, Trey Songz, Snoop Dogg, and Kendrick Lamar. He is Mike Dupree. Welcome to the show, bro.
Man, thanks for having me, bro. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming on. He also, and we'll talk about this towards the end, but he also has his own podcast. Tell me what the name of the podcast is again.
That's Please Elaborate podcast. Me and my guy, Andre Johnson, we got a podcast. We usually drop on Fridays. We took a small hiatus, but we'll be back right after the new year with some good stuff.
Their podcast is dope, so we'll talk about about it somewhere at the end and let y'all know where y'all can follow and everything like that. But we got to get into it because there's a lot going on. First things first, week 16 of the fantasy world happened, and we crowned a fantasy champion in the Backstage, the first annual Backstage Sports Podcast League champion is none other than my brother Lynn Jackson. So shout out to you. We will shoot you some stuff your way, and including probably a dope T-shirt.
I came in third place. You know what I'm saying?
And me and JT had a fierce battle for 5th place.
Came in third
in the league. We ended up. I think I ended up beating JT by literally 1 point. I think I beat him 156 to 157 or something like that.
It was a rough week for me.
It was a rough week for everybody. It was a crazy fantasy year. I mean, I like I said, I blame it on 2020. I end up having the highest point total, the most points in the league, and came in 5th. So I blame that on 2020. Like it just along with a bunch of shit that don't make sense.
I think I played you in the first round.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. You did play me in the first round. It was a rough year. But I ended up winning the chip. I beat Jeff. Shout out to the Goodson family. We love y'all. We praying for y'all. Who's dealing with a loss to COVID. But I played Jeff. I was playing Jeff Goodson in another league and ended up beating him for the chip yesterday. Right. So I still ended up getting the chip in. So the year is not all the way lost.
No.
Okay.
Right.
So before we jump in, we're going to start off with the Chiefs. But before we jump in with the Chiefs, we always ask our guests, what life is like for them right now in the apocalypse, because especially for us in the entertainment industry, everybody has a new normal. It looks completely different for everybody. You most of the time, if you are a grinder, a motivated individual, you have some type of new thing that's happening that came out of COVID, and all of our guests are highly motivated, amazing individuals, and so there's always something new and interesting that they found in COVID, as far as their career or new career path. We talked to somebody a couple times, and they said that they were, into investing. JT's into sports cars now. He's doing this sports trading thing, and he found that thing. I got way more heavy into production and everything like that. I have a Splice pack that's out now. Go check that out, the Lo-Fi Philly pack, if you haven't already. So for you, Mike, what has it been for you? What's been the new thing, the new transition, the new thing that you're working on? What's your new normal like in this pandemic?
Man, that's funny because for me, it's a couple of things. It's been I started a beard balm company.
Oh, dope.
We'll be launching. It's called Aaron's Beard Premium Handcrafted Clay. It'll be launching. We'll be launching that January, February for sure.
Okay.
I just did a little deck for it and everything, so it's real solid.
Okay.
The podcast itself, was something that was birthed out of quarantine.
Same. That's dope.
I got a new company I started up called Exodus Lane. And basically what it is, essentially it provides major label services to any musician, any artist at a subscription fee. So that site will be kicking off soon. Anything you need, mix and mastering, production, songwriting, anything that you could do as an artist that you would need, cover art, playlisting, streaming, it's all available on the site, essentially at a subscription fee. But there's packages that you can get. And then outside of that, man, it's funny. I've been stepping deeper into ministry as well. Mm-hmm. So the 4 of those things have all kind of been, things, and then the Chiefs need me on the field. So I step down every now and then. I'm in and out every now and then.
Period. Okay. Let's get into it. 'Cause you took us into the Chiefs. Okay. And it's funny because I listen, I listen to your podcast, and their podcast is super cool. And one of the episodes I was listening to, they had Magic Johnson was a guest on their podcast, and he was talking to him about the Chiefs, and he was like, "Yo, we need our respect. Like the Chiefs is here, like we ready to go." You know what I mean? And I'm like, "Yeah, let's." So we're gonna give the Chiefs they respect. The Chiefs locked up the number 1 seed. They had a rough game. They beat the Falcons. And the thing is, they didn't look great against the Falcons, which the Falcons is another story in themselves.
Right.
I know y'all got to be confident, because of how, your season has gone. Did you guys' game against the Falcons last week give you any concern? Do you have any concerns going into the postseason? Like, what are you thinking? How y'all feeling? What's it? And you coming to us live from Kansas City right now. So what's the vibe? What's the vibe on ground zero in Kansas City right now?
Listen, I'm in KC right now. It's cold. I came down here just for Christmas from LA.
Yeah.
And watched the game down here. I was actually gonna buy tickets. I thank God I didn't buy tickets to that game.
Oh yeah, because y'all got people in the stands down there.
Yeah, we had 25% capacity, and I was going to go. I thank God I didn't go because that was the one game I didn't care for.
Yeah,
I will say this. Let me say this. This is my personal conspiracy theory. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people are going to be like, what are you talking about? But I feel like Mahomes threw that game. I feel like he had to, in order to cover the spread, because the Chiefs haven't been covering the spread the whole year in Vegas, none of that. So I feel like they like, yo, go out there and win, but don't win by too much.
Yeah.
And I think Mahomes is so good, he don't know how to, you know what I'm saying? Like, he don't know what that looked like. So he out there, because soon as we needed to score, the moment we needed to score, it was like, hold on, it's a whole nother team.
Yeah.
As soon as we needed to score. But everything else, he throwing balls out the bounds, at the feet. I'm like, bro, I've never seen him play that
But
bad.
y'all also was running, it's something to what you was saying, because y'all was running trick plays like early in the game.
Well, they was bored.
That's what I'm saying. So it's almost, somebody had a good analogy, and I don't remember who this was, but somebody had a good analogy and basically said, this year's Chiefs is kind of like the 2016 Warriors. Like where they was kind of running through the league and they would lose to towards the end. They would, give up games to teams who you was like, there's no way that they should be losing. But it was like they were fighting through boredom, especially getting close to the playoffs. You a senior in high school, you having the senioritis where you checked out for real, like because you already know, and you got a couple. You just won a championship last year, so I can give the Chiefs senioritis. I mean, because it's not like, for me, I don't look at them with the same concerns that I look at the Steelers with. Because I look at the Steelers with a different set of concerns. I'm looking at the Steelers, and I'm worried about the Steelers. And I feel like Steelers fans should be worried about the Steelers, but I don't get that from them. They are a little bit delusional to me. But I feel like that y'all should be worried about what's going on there, because they almost lost to the Colts. And they look like they're going to sit their starters, I think, this week. So it could you're potentially you was looking at a 4 or 5 game losing streak going into the playoffs, which is not a good look.
Right. No, not at all. I mean, I think the Steelers are. Let's be honest. Their schedule was easy.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I don't think they played anybody.
They didn't play anybody, and if I had to bet on it, I think if they're sitting next week, the Browns should take it next week. I don't know what the playoff standing because all those teams are 10-5 right now.
The Browns need to win to get in.
The Browns need to win to get in. The Browns need, and I got the Browns winning. I got the Browns winning that game.
Yeah,
I mean, I have no concerns regarding the Chiefs. I feel like when Pat needs to put the magic on, Patty's gonna put the magic on, and that's it. And I'm not saying that just as a Chiefs fan. I'm saying that as somebody you recognize in Mahomes as like far superior to compare. Right. Yeah, that's just more Mahomes. Mahomes.
It's like Curry is Curry. He good. We're gonna be all right. Right.
Yeah, we're gonna be straight. We're gonna get out there and ball out. That's what we do. You know, and I feel like our defense has been stepping up a little bit the last few games, and I don't see anybody in terms of playoffs. I don't see. My only concern, and it's small, personally, would be the Bills.
And that's it, and that's all. Because I watched them last night, and I was like, okay, we got to give Bills Mafia their due respect. And so. I feel you on that.
That's the matchup in the AFC. I don't care about nobody else playing. I want the Bills to make it to play the Chiefs. Like that's who I want to see. That's gonna be a crazy good game.
Yeah,
and that's what I want. Yeah. I want all the smoke. So you know, like I said, I play every week. I play my heart out. So you know, I need somebody who's gonna really. I need somebody who's gonna really challenge that. You know, what I'm saying?
Period.
We beat the Bills like week 5, week 6 already. We already beat them.
Yeah.
But we can do it again. We can run it back.
I feel like they got better since that loss, though.
I do too. I watched them last night, and I know that they, you know, obviously it was just the Patriots, and we got to get to them. But I watched them last night, and they looked. It was total domination, bro. Like the Patriots couldn't do anything. Like
they cost me my chance to make it to the fantasy chip.
Yeah,
I lost because of the Bills defense.
And I thought they was going to call. I was up against the Bills defense in my championship game last night, and I thought I was going out of here because I thought they was going to run it up. I thought I was going to end up getting wiped out at the last minute. And it's funny because we're gonna get. We're working on getting a member of Bills Mafia on next week. Shout out Kevin Camp, your musician, you know Kevin, you know the great Kevin Camp. And I told him today, because he was saying, like, you know, on Instagram, they're not giving us our respect out here at Bills Mafia. I said, we're going to respect Bills Mafia. We got to get him on here. But, yeah, you're right. So I think the Bills are legit. And I think the Steelers should concern you. If you're a Steelers fan, you should be concerned.
Yeah, they play like trash.
They get knocked out first round. I'm calling
for sure.
I will call it too. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, it's just, come on, y'all. Y'all got to be for real. Y'all almost lost to the Colts.
They should have lost.
Y'all should have lost to the Colts. So it's like, and it's not looking good. Okay, so you talked about Mahomes. That brings us to MVP conversations, right? The year is pretty much over. This week is going to be a wash. I don't even know if Mahomes is going to play this week. So where are you guys in your MVP votes? If you had an MVP vote, who you casting it for?
I'm voting for A-Rod.
A-Rod, that's hands down. You said it quick.
I feel like A-Rod don't get the respect that he gets for playing with the talent that he has.
Now I can mess with that stance.
Like, he got Devontae, but then it's like, do you like, who's next? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have a solid number 2 receiver, and he still get 40 touchdowns or like 5 interceptions. Like, I mean,
that's legit.
I feel like A-Rod should get it. Don't get me wrong, Mahomes lights the world up.
Yeah,
I mean, but if you got the U.S. track 4x100 team running with you,
you better be putting up the numbers.
Look, bro.
Get it.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be completely unbiased. I'm gonna give it to Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, wow.
And that's only because of this last game that Pat had. That's the thing that tipped it over.
You thought he made the case for himself. He wrapped it up.
I felt like they were like this. Honestly, it was like this.
I did too.
And then Pat played that game, and Aaron played his game. And
the blizzard.
but I do disagree. I feel like Aaron does get his respect that he deserves. Like, he doesn't have obviously the plethora of weapons that Mahomes has, but he does. I don't know. I feel like Aaron always got his respect, and he still
gets
does.
his moments. He gets his moments of respect. It's not consistent though. He get like, oh yeah, A-Rod did good, but then like if they win by like 4, it's like, well, what happened to A-Rod? Why A-Rod didn't do this?
Yeah. I agree. I do think he should be getting a little bit more respect.
A-Rod didn't even come into the MVP conversation until like second half of the season.
Right.
Remember the beginning, it was all Pat and Russell.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Russ had a couple bad games. It was like, oh well, wait, look at A-Rod. Because when Devontae went out, he still was getting 4 or 5 touchdowns a game.
Right.
A-Rod,
I agree.
Quarterback in the NFL.
I even called it. I called this early on. I called it Green Bay Chiefs for the State Farm Super Bowl.
I like
for the State Farm.
I like
for the State Farm Super Bowl. All State Farm commercials throughout the whole joint.
Straight up.
I'm going. I like that. Discount double check.
Straight up. Shout out discount double check. So
I would love to see that.
I think that like you said, it's been tough, for me to pick between A-Rod and Mahomes, and I thought I had an answer before I even asked this question, and then I listened to y'all and I was like, it's tough because I like them both. I think if you're going by NBA standards, you go okay.
You don't want to go by that.
I know you don't, but you know what I mean. They go by a record and the hot team and the hot guy on the team, right? So that is like far and away Patrick Mahomes, right? Yeah. They haven't lost a game in like 20 years, for real. They got one loss on their record this year. Outside of that, they've been winning. And I think that I understand that part of the conversation of like, they just win. Even if it don't look good, they're not covering the spread. Whatever you want to say, they just win. And then you got to look at, they also have a lot of weapons. But what's the main reason? Them weapons was there when Alex Smith was there.
Absolutely. I tell people that all the time.
So then you look at it, what's the main reason why they win it? Because Andy Reid was also there when Alex Smith was there, right? So what's the main reason why they win it? And then I just go to Patrick, go to my homeboy. He's the reason, you know what I'm saying? And I like A-Rod. Their numbers are comparable. Aaron Rodgers has 459. This is through week 16. 4,059 passing yards to Patrick Mahomes, 4,740. A-Rod is 47 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Pat is 40 and 6. A-Rod is 70 completion percentage. Pat is 66. QB rating 119 for A-Rod. Pat is 108. So QBR 83. The Pat 82. Their numbers are it's close.
That's right there.
I changed my mind.
See, you see what I mean? So their numbers are close, and then you go. So then you're gonna nitpick anyway, right? Like
that's what it is.
The matter is Aaron Rodgers deserving of the MVP? Yes.
Will he get it?
So for me to say that, I think I'm gonna go with Pat. It's not a knock on Aaron. It's just I think their numbers are comparable, and Pat's team has been virtually unbeatable. I mean, even though they haven't looked amazing, they just win.
Right.
They win more.
We go through this as LeBron fans. Every year, LeBron really
deserves
win MVP.
it. Yeah.
Last year, I don't care what Giannis does. He definitely deserved to win MVP.
Yeah.
Year 17, 26 points, 10.5 assists, lead the league. Lakers #1 seed in the West. He should have won. But you know how it goes. I think Patrick is the young face of the league. He has the upper edge based on that alone. Like, they win, but like, it's Pat. Come on, he jumped in the State Farm commercials.
Yeah,
like he took that over. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Pat is the face of the league.
Yeah, yeah. So I gotta go with Pat, but I'm not gonna be mad if A-Rod wins it.
Oh, not at all.
And I know people are also pulling for Derrick Henry and Josh Allen, who
nobody else is in the conversation.
Derrick Henry should be.
Derek is, of course.
It's just hard because he's a running back.
It's hard, yeah.
He's valuable, but
he's
a running back.
I wouldn't watch a Tennessee game if Derrick Henry wasn't there.
Absolutely.
Because I like what's the quarterback? Tannehill. Tannehill can't do it by himself.
Tannehill can't throw. He can't pass.
Tannehill is a result of Derrick Henry to me, and with Derrick
Henry running, it opens it up for Corey Davis and AJ Brown. Like, the bull, they said he had seven or eight straight games with 100 yards.
Yeah.
A couple of them was 200-yard games.
Yeah.
Like, Bull's unstoppable.
Yeah, Tannehill is definitely a result of him.
You know.
Okay, so speaking of, we kind of got in you know, we kind of got in a quarterback talk right there. So speaking of those quarterbacks, Tony Dungy was on Club Shay Shay. He was on Shannon Sharp's podcast, and he was talking about you know, preparing for quarterbacks and who were some of the hardest quarterbacks that that they face and the hardest quarterbacks to prepare for. And so he gave his list, and people were in an uproar about it. Some people, I didn't think it was a big deal, but he gave his list. Here's the quote that he said. If you're not watching, we pulled it up. It says, who I put ahead of Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, John Elway, Steve Young, guys who couldn't move. Not to say Tom wasn't great, but that extra dimension meant something to me.
I agree 100%.
And Tom Brady, like, I guess his get back against that, because he saw it as a shot, I guess, in a Jordan X-esque kind of moment, ended up tweeting out a 2014 AFC finalist banner, which, full disclosure, Dungy wasn't even the coach then. So do you agree or disagree with Tony Dungy's stance? Did you take it as a shot? I personally did not take it as a shot, and I also agree with what he said.
I agree 100%. It's always harder to prepare for a quarterback that's going to move around.
Right.
And if you know Tom not going to run out the pocket, you collapse the pocket. He's not moving. A-Rod is going to slide around. Steve Young was definitely running, and John Elway, and they took hits.
Yeah.
Tom not getting hit and bouncing back like that. He's a pocket quarterback. Now, he'll kill you from the pocket, but that's all you have to prepare for.
Right.
It's always harder to prepare for quarterbacks that run. It's just,
and I don't think that's a slight
logic
to me. That's not a slight to me.
He said Tom is great. We all know Tom's great. Tom's a GOAT. As much as I don't want to say it is. Right. But come on. Tom is reaching. Tom is definitely at the Jordan phase of his life.
Right.
I think compared to these quarterbacks, and some people may hate me for this, I think Tom has a higher football IQ.
I would agree with that too, though.
I definitely agree with that.
But that it is that extra dimension of being able to move, because he's talking about he's not saying overall, he's saying according to me, coaching against you.
Right.
And it's like, based off when we played you, this is how I feel. So to me, I don't think it was a shot. I don't think it's anything like that at all. Tom is the GOAT. As much as I hate it, as much as I hated the Patriots when he was there, as much as I hate Tampa Bay while he's there, he reminds me, he's the Tom Cruise of football. So he look like Tom Cruise to me or something. I don't know. But, I just wish, he feels himself a lot, and you can tell that.
Yeah.
Even before the season started, he's doing these little guess what team I'm going on and all.
Yeah, which was nutty to me. But I mean, come on, bro.
I think he's he might be a little bit too into himself. Not saying that he doesn't deserve it, but I'm just saying he might be a little off balance with how he himself.
Yeah,
he definitely smells himself.
Yeah, because that to me it wasn't a slight to me. Tony Dungy, not even the I'm gonna throw a shot at you type of guy, like you know what I mean. And I didn't even hear that. I didn't even hear that snippet on the podcast. So and I'm just talking off of just hearing Tony Dungy over the years. That's not even his demeanor. You know what I mean? To be taking shots at I think Tom needs to calm down, and the Tom Brady-ites need to calm down a little bit, because is a quarterback with the extra dimension of running harder to prepare for? Yes. And it doesn't mean that, Tom, we're not saying that Tom isn't great, but I think some statements just are what they are.
Listen,
so
you saw that firsthand with the Eagles, right?
Yeah.
When Carson Wentz was in the game,
we
100%. Knew he wasn't going to run the ball.
100%.
The Saints played Jalen Hurts. They were not ready.
They was not ready.
Him running the ball. The Saints haven't given up 100-yard rusher in like 58 games. They played the Eagles that first week and gave up 200-yard rushes in the same game.
In the same game. And all he had to do was move, because that was the issue that Carson Wentz was having. Carson was a sitting duck. Carson was a sitting duck. And before they put Jalen Hurts in, I said all Jalen Hurts got to do for this to be the least big successful is to just move, just to get out the pocket. Especially when you have a terrible offensive line, that helps that Jalen can get from behind them. That's it.
Yeah, that's all it was.
100%. Speaking of Carson and that debacle, the NFC East. So
we got to talk about it.
We got to talk about it, even just for a minute, because it's still here, and it's, believe it or not, it's still up for grabs because Washington didn't go get it last week.
Nope. And they cut their quarterback.
They can still go get it this week. They play the Eagles, and the Cowboys play the Giants. But the Cowboys need to win, and they need the Redskins to lose. So my question is, if you are the Eagles, what do you do? And this is more of a social type of rivalry thing, because for me, I'm throwing this game. I don't give a damn about the Redskins or the Washington team with no name making it to the playoffs. I can care less. I'd rather do my job to keep the Giants and the Giants is out, but the Cowboys out. If I can, we're not gonna be in anyway. So us winning the game doesn't mean anything.
It's pointless.
It's pointless. So am I the only one? Am I alone? It's funny because we ended up when we wrote this question, we didn't have another Eagles fan on the podcast. But now that we have one on there, am I alone in low key wanting to throw this game on Sunday?
Bro, I wanted to throw every game for the last 7 weeks. Like at this point, the season's done. Like let's stop trying to win. Let's get this good draft position.
Yeah.
Hire Howie or get a better scout to draft. Yeah. Don't go out. Listen, what happens? We play longer. Rodney get hurt, and then he going for the year.
Right.
Another offense. The whole offensive line is going besides Jason Kelsey.
Yeah.
It's just bad. What do we really need to go out there and do? Flex is hurt. Like,
yep.
It's at this point. Listen. I get it. We got it.
And we get to keep the Cowboys out. Like,
nothing makes me more happier than them not going to the playoffs.
Nothing makes me more happier than taking them down with
Well, you know what? It might be one more thing.
What?
Not Big Red not winning again. Big Red, as an Eagles fan, I got some real issues with Red. I love him, but I got some real deep issues with Bull, and they ain't resolved yet. I'm happy he won one.
Yeah,
but I'm not done with it.
Yeah, but as far as Washington goes, like
who cares?
I don't care about Washington making the playoffs, so I wouldn't even play the starters in this game.
And they cut their quarterback,
so
they might not even win.
Listen, the whole NFC East is in shambles.
It's in shambles.
And they need to allow some of the teams from the AFC to take some of them playoff spots. Because you got all these teams that's 10-5, and some of them
might not even make it.
That might not make it.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, that's insane.
I don't know. I might agree. Just don't even care about
just chalk it.
Just take them down. But this, this is peon talk. Like when you're a Chiefs fan, it's a little bit. This is for the peasants. We are royalty. Hey, listen. Hey, the Chiefs sucked for so long, fam.
How about that?
You're right.
So
now it's time to go.
We still got a chip in the last 5 years.
Yeah, definitely.
We still.
I rock with the Eagles. Off the simple fact of Andy. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole reason we connect. Yeah. Andy Reid is our connecting point. But
the other interesting thing is the Washington team with no name is in a little bit of a conundrum by themselves. They just cut Dwayne Haskins was their starter. They cut Dwayne Haskins, which shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, especially after we talked about him. We talked about him last week on the podcast with Olden and about how he made his decision making as far as on the field and off the field, him going to the strip club and everything like that. And this is another thing that I failed to bring up last week because I didn't even realize this. And JT and Olden spoke to the fact that, he broke COVID protocol. But he's a grown man and he should be able to do what he wants to do, and everything like that. And everybody's tired of COVID and all of that, which I get all of that and respect it and get all of that. The level of idiocy that it took for him to do what he did is emphasized in the fact that he was the starting quarterback of a NFL team who was on the brink of a playoff berth. That's first. The second thing is that, which I didn't realize, is that he's also in a locker room with a coach
who
is highly susceptible to this virus because he is a former cancer patient.
Yeah.
So that makes this even worse.
He was a team captain.
And he was a team captain. So it makes it even dumber. It makes it even more of a demerit on Haskins' part to go do what he did, because you could potentially, especially in living in an age where all of us at some point during this, if you haven't known somebody yet, you know somebody who has been affected by COVID or who has lost someone. I personally have lost someone. I know people who have lost someone. We talked about that at the top of the show. And so for you to go at it regardless, and we also, in the same breath, two things could be true. We also can all be very tired of COVID. We all have COVID fatigue, right?
Right.
And so with both things in mind, you got to know that this is your job and you get paid millions of dollars not to make these dumb decisions, right? Because there's a lot of people that will wish for God that they would get paid millions of dollars to not go to the club right now. You know what I mean? And so to do this and to also put your coach who was on dialysis, at risk is crazy. So the fact that he got cut is warranted, and I have no remorse for that. But the issue here is Booger McFarlands came out and made a comment about Dwayne Haskins getting cut and his decision-making and everything like that. He took it in a different direction. And we're going to pull it up real quick just to hear a couple seconds of what he said, because I don't think I can listen to his whole little rant. But here's what he said, if you didn't hear it.
Unfortunately, I've seen this too many times. Played in the NFL almost a decade. You played a long time. We've been around it for a long time. And oftentimes young players, especially, and I'm going to go here, especially young African-American players, because they make up 70% of this league. They come into this league and they ask themselves the wrong thing. They come into the league saying not, how can I be a better player? They don't say, how can I be a better teammate? They don't say, how can I be a better person? How can I get my organization over the hump? Here's what they come in saying. They come in saying, how can I build my brand better? How can I build my social media following better? How can I work out on Instagram and show everybody that I'm ready to go, but when I get to the game, I don't perform? Dwayne Haskins, unfortunately, is not the first case that I've seen like this.
Yes.
And it won't be the last. And it bothers me because a lot of it is the young African-American player. They come in and they don't take this as a business. It is still a game to them.
They look at it as football.
This ain't football, man. This is a billion-dollar business.
Yes.
It's billions of...
Okay, that's enough. That's enough.
You know what, though? I agree with him. And my biggest knock on Dwayne was he plays football where he grew up at. Like, he's from that area. I am the biggest fan of getting far away from where you from when it comes to playing professional sports. Like, not
too much familiarity.
Too much. You got too many friends. Like, people gonna be in your corner asking you questions. Like, it's too much pressure on you. Yo, I told myself, I said, yo, if I would have ever made it in anything, I am getting far away from Philly. It's like, wow, you know how much pressure it is to have friends that you grew up with come back, family members come back to where you are. They know you. You can't just say, no, I don't want to come. No, they're going to find you. Get away. I hate it. And him being young, it's like
they're going to find you.
He dumb. He don't get it. Look, remember Trent Richardson? He ran himself out the NFL, giving his family money.
Yeah.
Like, Bull can't get a job in the Canadian Football League because he was so far gone from – he ruined himself. It's horrible.
Yeah.
I would say I agree as well, man. I think a lot of African-American players do take that mentality. I mean, I don't know if his statistics are actually accurate, but I do see it a lot, and it you know, we do make up 70% of the league. So being that that's the case, I think we have to really, the way we're trying to take our personal brand, make sure we're taking the position that we have, because that is that honestly, that's where the real blessing is. It's the fact that you can even play pro ball for a living and make money. So when I look at cats, like, I'm gonna change gears, but still stay in the same lane. You look at Michael Jordan and his greatness and how he brought his team members up. He was like, listen, I don't care what y'all doing, what y'all got going on. I'm trying to win championships, so I'm bringing you guys to focus on the actual game. So what happens is a lot of, especially in 2020, especially in this era in general, you have a lot of people who are just focused on personal gain because of they want to be able to show people, this is my life, and look what I have, and look at my body, and look at my workout, and look at my brand, and look at this, but they're not actually delivering. And to me, at the end of the day, you got to submit. That's major. You're in the NFL, fam. Submit, and I'm saying it. Just be humble.
Exactly.
Appreciate it. Play the game, and correct yourself where you're wrong, or you'll find yourself in these situations.
And it's so crazy that you said Michael Jordan, right? Because, you know, Joe and I are LeBron fans, right?
Yeah.
It's no player in the last 10 years, maybe 15, that played in the NBA that had more of an outside NBA influence than LeBron. But LeBron is one of the most humble basketball players, or people in general, that you will ever meet. Yeah. This boy got so much business outside of basketball that he don't even really talk about. He got he got Spring Hill Entertainment. He left McDonald's to go to a small pizza franchise that blew up. Now he got a tequila. Then he got his hands in so much. Nike gave him his own building on the campus and $1 billion deal. And all he do is get some young bulls. Listen, come talk to us. We got you. You know why? Because I didn't give my friends money. I put my friends in college. Whether they stayed or not, they didn't come. But when they got out, I put them in position. Rich Paul is in position to never be broke.
Ever. They all are.
Weems is playing ball overseas, but can come home and be with Bron. His other right-hand man is his personal assistant. I'm not going to give you money. I'm going to put you in a position. These young boys is all about, let's put this money, let's take this picture. You know who I'm the biggest fan, not the biggest fan of, and it pisses me off that he does what he does? James Harden. Like, bro, you have so much power and influence, and this is what you choose to do instead of showing young bulls the proper way to play the game and do it.
Right. To your point, so those points are valid. There is an issue, right? My issue with Booger's statement is it's not a black issue.
Yeah, that's an everybody issue.
And that's an everybody issue. That's a generational issue.
Right.
And for us to constantly put this stigma on black quarterbacks, on black players is toxic to me, right? Because when Johnny Manziel kept going through his bullshit, nobody said those white players, those young white quarterbacks, you got to stop drafting young white quarterbacks because this is what they do, right? When that happened, nobody said all of that, right? When we can go through the list of quarterbacks that didn't pan out, you know what I'm saying? Baker Mayfield had his issues, Josh Rosen, Mr. Trubisky, Tim Tebow. Like we can give you a list of white quarterbacks that had their issues, and nobody came out and said the same stuff that Booger McFarlands is saying.
Right.
And that's what I don't like, because this is stuff that we deal with as black men on the regular life all the time, and it's ridiculous, right? Because when the Columbine killer goes out and mows down hundreds of innocent children, nobody comes out and says, you gotta watch white people because this is the type of stuff that white people do, right? And so I tell people, especially young guys, whether if I teach them or if they're nieces and nephews or whatever, that when we go out and do something, I gotta have in the back of my mind that everything I do is not only a reflection of me, but it's a reflection of you and of you and of everybody who looks like me, because in America, we're lumped in to one big pot, right? So if Joe kind of goes outside and does some fuck shit, they're going to look at B and they're going to look at Mike and go, because this is what young black men
Yeah,
think.
exactly.
Absolutely.
And so that's the thing that I don't like about Booger's statement, because he's perpetuating this thing of this. See, look at the black athlete, and I don't like that, especially when it's coming from us. That is toxic.
No, you're absolutely right, and I 100% agree with you. I think, and I could be wrong. What he's trying to say is, I think he's more so trying to look out for the black athlete. I
want him to do that with better verbiage. I agree. I think
that's what it was.
I think it's coming from a good place. I just didn't like how it was delivered.
Absolutely. So, and I think that's why he made the point to say we make up 70% of the league, and he's saying, guys, just behave yourself. And you're right, because now listening to the things you're saying, I completely agree. It is a generational thing, because it has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with sports even at all.
It has nothing to do with.
Everybody just wants to be seen doing something.
Yes.
Because that's what the culture is this day and age.
And that's why in my business, right, I got a clothing line called Society Standard Clothing.
Period.
But one of my sayings is on my shirt, it says, set the standard on your own terms. And somebody was like, well, what does that mean? I said, yo, I'm young and I'm black. I'm a statistic regardless of whatever anybody says.
Period.
My goal in life is to change their point of view. Like, you can think, oh, I'm this and that. Put me in a room at a table with you and your bosses and watch how I change that fast. I'm going to make you change the standard of how you view me. Yes, I'm a black man from the ghetto, but
doing it every day.
Know me. Like, you don't know what I do. Like, I'm a businessman. I'm a Christian. I'm a dad. I'm a husband. I'm all that. You can't say to me, oh, you just from the hood. Put me in a room with you and your boss and watch how I change your mind.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like,
watch how I change the standard of how you view me.
Period. We don't want, nor do we deserve to be lumped into one pot. We don't want anybody to do that to us, because we are able to blaze our own paths, and we are able to push put a new face on what America thinks black men look like, right? Or what America thinks black men do. I'm sitting in front of right now 2 amazing black fathers. We all know the stigma of black fathership in America. It's not good, right? And so when we see one black father go do something
everybody
weird,
goes down.
all of a sudden, black men ain't in the home. I'm sitting in front of 2 of them right now, and I know plenty of them. That's two fathers, two amazing fathers and 2 amazing husbands. That's sitting in front of me right now. But they'll tell you black men don't marry, and black men ain't being fathers, and black men ain't.
We had this conversation. We got to go down a deep rabbit hole. We ain't talking about sports no more.
But you understand what I'm saying? We can't. You're right. We can go down a long hole. And so my connection to sports with this is, Booger, don't do what they've been doing to us for years. And don't do it. Don't sit up there in front of millions of viewers at a table with more white counterparts and tell them, see, this is what black men do when we give them money. I don't like that.
And I feel like the older vets should be that lending hand for real. Like, especially the ones that played in the league and that's not there no more, but been there and done it. Like, you know what they're going to go through. Won't you go reach out to these youngers and give them
call them? Did you call him?
Yeah.
Did you call Dwayne Haskins, Booger? Before you air him out, like I'm not saying to don't spit game to him and don't say, listen, y'all, we need to be better. You know what I'm saying? But don't sit up there and generalize it and say it's just a lot of the young black guy, because you didn't bring up Johnny Manziel and all of the drug tests he done failed and how he was here and gone yesterday. You know what I'm saying? One of the biggest flops in the league. You know, the biggest flops in the league. Like, so we don't do that to the other side, but we do that to ourselves.
But Joe, you know, in LA or in media and entertainment in general, you know, sometimes you just gotta. Some of them play that game. They gotta play that game. Yeah. And I'm not saying that Booger is, but he very well may be playing the game.
You definitely gotta play the game a little bit.
He got a track record, so he might be. He
got a track record.
Yeah, he got a track record. But like I said, we can go down a really long rabbit hole. So we're gonna go over to the association. So Kyrie Irving, you know, he often puts his foot in his mouth. And he came out and said, I guess he was on Kevin's podcast, I think, when he came out and said, you know, it was on all the sports shows and all this other stuff, because he was talking about, he made a comment about how he thinks that this year is the first year where he can look down the bench and see a guy who he thinks can make a game-winning shot, right? And then not even 3 games in to this season, the Nets are in a game with the Hornets of all teams, and they lose this game against the Hornets off a Kevin Durant missed last-second shot, which is just like poetic justice to people who are kind of tired of hearing Kyrie Irving run off his mouth.
And then he didn't play the next game. And
took the L to the Hornets, which is, again, a demerit because they're the Hornets. And if you've seen the Hornets play this year, they do not look good
at all.
In the same game where Terry Rozier baptized Kevin Durant. So all this is happening at the same time. Moral of the story is Kyrie should watch his mouth, okay?
Well, everybody got to watch their mouth.
Everybody got to watch their mouth, but Kyrie is constantly saying something, and I think that Kyrie, when I say that I don't believe in the Nets, it's not because I don't think that they're the most talented team in the East, because I think that they are. When I say I don't believe in them, it's because of stuff like it's his mouth. It's Kevin's mouth and ego, and it's Kyrie's mouth and ego. Yeah. That's what makes me go, I don't see them,
They lost Spencer Dinwiddie, too. Major loss.
They did, yeah.
ACL injury, major loss.
Yeah. Big loss. No, we got to, and that's the thing. It all goes in when you're a professional. Learn how to conduct yourself, man. Again, I listen. I love the Chiefs, so I'm gonna just put them in real quick. My guy Tyreek Hill said he put his foot in his mouth.
He definitely did.
I'll never have to do a DK Metcalf situation, and then Patty throws the interception. Has to do the same thing. So I'm like, yo, we gotta tone it down as a collective and throughout all entertainment, man. Just really.
Even with the Kyrie thing, I was like, well, how can you say that? You've been to the playoffs never before LeBron got there. LeBron gets you there. You go 3 years in a row, win a chip. Then you ask for a trade to not go to the playoffs again. And then when you did, you was hurt. You didn't even contribute.
Kyrie is lost. He's doing some soul searching, man.
He needs IG. I don't think he's searching.
I think he is, but I just think he's looking in the wrong areas. That's all.
He on that sage.
He on that other stuff. Yeah.
Well, listen, he needed to say he must have sage when he got to Charlotte because Kevin got baptized and he took an L off one of the worst teams in the league.
The worst.
So that's not a good thing. Speaking of the Hornets, LaMelo Ball's debut it really felt horrible. And I'm rooting for LaMelo. I'm one of the guys who thought that he was going to be the best of the Ball brothers.
He will.
I want to say that, but he's making me a little nervous. His first couple games.
It's Charlotte.
It's Charlotte, but the thing that's worrying me. So in his first game, he went scoreless in his first game. He went completely scoreless. His first couple games is 0 points, 6 points, and 13 points. And on top of that, he doesn't even start.
No,
which I didn't realize until the second game. I think I didn't realize that he's not even a starter on this team, and this team is not good. So, am I the only one that's a little bit concerned about LaMelo Ball?
I think that comes down to coaching and familiarity with the lineup that they already had. I think once he gets his feet wet and like really grasp the NBA game compared to the overseas game, I think he's going to be fine. I think he has to get that part down. I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to be better than Zell.
I agree. He's going to definitely be. I think he'll be the best ball brother. And like you said, it's a matter of the coaching. And once they get that together, him sitting down, because I'm looking at some of the stats and the time that he's scoring these points. It's like it's actually impactful. Yeah. It's just a matter of them getting their feet under them as a team. And once they do that,
but him not starting, it was like a real shock and to me, because I'm like, especially him being, such a high draft pick, that worries me. He's a high draft pick on a bad team and is not starting. So that made me go, what are they seeing in practice that's making them go like, nah, we're not even putting him in on this
team. He's not good on the defensive end. So you can't have two non-defensive guards start. Like, Devontae Graham is short and don't play stock defense. But Terry Rozier is a dog, is going to go after you on defense. So you put Terry on the opposite side of Devontae, and then when one of the other go out, you know what I mean, Melo come in and get his rocks off with the second. I wouldn't have started him right away until he got his feet wet, but, you know, I'm just a regular guy.
So you think they going to start him later in the
I for sure think he's going to take over.
Agree.
For sure.
I agree.
For sure.
I hope so. I hope so, because I'm looking at the roster, and I'm like, if you don't start on this roster, I don't know where you go.
I like him and Scary Terry playing together.
I do too. I thought that would be that would be a nice little combo.
The rest of the team is just trash. Bismack, Biyombo, and
they team is I mean, Graham, Biyombo, Gordon Hayward, who they overpaid, ended up getting injured again. PJ Washington.
I like him though.
You know, it's not a great. You know, it's not a great team. It's not a great team.
Michael Jordan can play basketball, but he can't. It's something about that offense that don't work.
How about that? I don't know what that is about, but so the other thing is the Clippers ended up taking a historic L, L against the Dallas Mavericks. Also, not a great team. I think they'll be okay this year, but they started out 1-2.
They're still missing Porzingis.
They still missing Porzingis. They didn't have Porzingis when they blew out the Clippers by 50 points. The issue with this is not only them losing by 50 points to a middle-of-the-road Dallas Mavericks team without their second-best player, but the fact that Paul George got in his press conference and straight up said it's not a big deal. You know, we took an L. And that was it. We got our butts kicked. It's not a big deal.
Then he tried to come back and say it was on him.
Not only that, we know it's on you because you scored 15 points and y'all lost by 50. Y'all lost by 50 and y'all was down by 50 at halftime. The game been over. It wasn't like
77,
they ran y'all
27.
out. You know, it wasn't like a whole bunch of garbage time points. Like, y'all got ran off the floor in the first half by 50. So, yeah, this is a big deal. And so
they tried to say it was because Kawhi didn't play. I said, let me explain something to you. I like Kawhi Leonard. He's not making up 50 points. Like, Kawhi's not scoring 50. Cut it out now. Paul George is a high-priced player that don't show up when you need him to. That's just period. Period. Kawhi. Like, he did this the whole playoffs. The Bull had like 12 games of 13 points or less. And you want to call yourself an all-star stud. Like, you're not a stud.
Period.
Right.
Period.
You might be a stud finder, but you're not the stud.
You're a stud finder, bro. And that's it, and that's all. But my thing is we got to pump the brakes on the Clippers. You know, Clipper Nation pounding their chest because they was the Christmas Day champions last year. They was the Christmas Day. You know how they go. They was opening day champions this year. They regular season champions. And until the Clippers stop clipping, I need y'all to calm down and take a seat. And Paul George, I don't want to hear nothing about Paul George and Kawhi and the dogs and all these dogs that they got. We've been hearing about the dogs since last year.
The whole dog pound.
The dogs sound like somebody bit his tail off at this point.
For me, I you know, Sixers fans constantly text my phone with nonsense. You know what I mean? So they text me yesterday, oh, man, we're not going to talk about how the Lakers lost to Portland. I'm like, we lost to Portland.
Portland, that's a good team.
They got a future Hall of Famer coming off the bench still giving 15 points a game.
Yeah.
They got two of the best guards in the game that can score 40, 50 whenever they feel like it.
Portland is a good team.
AD was hurt. He could have played out. Actually, I thought they said Brown was going to sit out that game. He ended up playing.
Yeah, he ended up playing. He played about 30 minutes.
But it's like, come on, y'all. Like, we lost to Portland. It's early in the season. I get it. The Clippers are overhyped. My thing with it is, I said, listen, I'm not judging nobody right now. We had 2 weeks to practice. We only had 30 days of the off season. What do you expect to happen in the first week of basketball?
Yeah. Come
on. All I know is the Lakers got really big rings. They doing really big things. You know what I'm saying? The Clippers are still at home watching. I personally predicted the Clippers to win game 1. I said, listen, they're going to be mad. They're going to watch the Lakers get their rings. They're going to come out and play like the world is on their back. I'm fine with that. They're not going to do it when it matters.
Yeah, we had a typical ring ceremony letdown. But
riding on the high.
Riding on the high. But leave it to Clippers fans to run away with it and and be ultra hyped to it. The other team that we got to talk about, and this was mainly for JT, but we're gonna talk about it anyway. And he needs to speak up to this. It's the Warriors, right? The Warriors. Now, I came into this year saying I didn't think the Warriors would be a contender, whether they had Clay or not. Looking at the roster, it wasn't a demerit on Clay or Curry. I was looking at the roster and I'm like, this roster is not winning no championship. Your third best player is Andrew Wiggins. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not it. I thought the Kelly Oubre move was nice, but that's proven to not be it as well. The Warriors look worse than I thought they would look. Kelly Oubre, Andrew Wiggins and Kelly Oubre are 14 for 58 from the floor and 2 of 21 from 3. Kelly Oubre, I think I saw a stat that said Kelly Oubre on shots attempted, not dunks or layups, was like 0 and 20 something.
Yeah, it's bad.
Wow.
So this to me is not a team that you just plug Klay Thompson into and all of a sudden they're battling it out for a top 3 seed. No, so I wanted to pose this to the Warriors fans, JT mainly. What's up? What's up with the what's up? Like y'all was supposed to be way better than this.
There's not no talent there. I mean, they got talent, but it's young talent. They don't got that.
It's young
barrage of killers like they had before when they had like Iggy and Sean Livingston.
And that's what I was saying to JT.
Them young guys, they not really ready for this life. They had 15 wins last year. You need Clay because Clay gonna take the pressure off of Steph. Steph, we all know that Mr. Great Curry cannot cook by himself.
No.
Draymond not playing, so he don't have the defensive impact. But it's like, even with Draymond coming back, that's still not enough.
I'm about to say, even Draymond is older and slower. You know what I mean? So even with Draymond, because of his game, Draymond's game has decreased already.
Dramatically. I wouldn't even have picked them to go. I probably, in the West right now, even with Clay, I don't even got them going AFC.
In the West with Clay, I had them around. I had them at the bottom. And because me and JT had this back and forth, I had them at the bottom. I said I wouldn't be surprised if they were 5th or 6th. I said that's not crazy to me, but JT was coming off the top rope with they a top 3 team with Clay. And I'm like, bro, in what conference? Not the West.
The top
and now it's looking like they wouldn't be a top 3 team in the East. They would have started this year 0-3 if they hadn't literally needed a last second shot to beat the Bulls. The Bulls.
Who are also trash.
Who are trash. The Bulls who are 0-3 trash. And so they needed a last second shot to beat the Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, if you're a Warriors fan, if you JT, you got to explain to me how just dropping Klay Thompson was going to magically make this team a top 3 team.
JT thought that the Warriors with Klay would be better than the Lakers, Clippers, and Nuggets.
I mean, his stance was if they had Klay, they would be fighting for a top 3 spot.
He thought that they would be better than the Lakers, Clippers, and Nuggets.
I don't know who he thought. I guess he thought they would be better than like all of the Rockets and the Mavericks and even the Suns. Like they're not better than the Suns.
The Lakers, Clippers, and Nuggets are top 3.
Yeah.
So it don't matter where they fought at. They were not cracking that top 3 with them 3 teams.
It's not happening. It's not happening.
It's not going down like that.
It's not happening. I'm
gonna pray for Jay, man. I'm gonna pray for him.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to hear. his take on that. I don't know. Did y'all hear about the situation that's going on with Rajon Rondo?
Yeah,
I saw the video.
So if you didn't see the video, we have a clip of it here. Rajon Rondo is being sued by a lady that lives in his girlfriend's building. The lady looked like she was asking for it to me in this video. I'm not mad. I don't feel bad for her. But the girlfriend was throwing hands. We looking at it now.
You know why? She's from Philadelphia.
Yeah, I did hear she was from Philly.
She's from Philly. We don't play all that riffraff. You feel me?
Yeah.
Ain't no Philly woman gonna let no woman disrespect their man like that, and you think she gonna get it off?
Yeah, and Rondo looked like he was ready to break it up.
He stepped right out the way. Oh, you keep talking? Cool. Let me go and step to the side and watch you treat her.
Rondo looked like he was ready to break it up. And then quickly pulled back and was like, "Nah, I'm cool." Like
she kept going. Oh, you want to keep talking? Say less.
Yeah.
Now you got to catch right.
Yeah.
I'm not mad.
You got to catch hands now.
And his girlfriend is she's such a lady. Like
I didn't see that coming out of her. Like
such a lady.
She a little cute, John. She a fashion designer or whatever.
And she got pushed. What the song say? Don't push me, cause I'm close to the.
Listen.
Yeah, that was so he's getting sued, but they should be all right.
Yeah, everybody turn that crap. Listen, you gotta stop bothering people, man. Go ahead with yourself.
Yeah, because the lady actually pulled up next to his car. Yeah. She instigated it because if you look what happened, she pulled up and she parked in the handicap part where you're not supposed to park, so that they can open their door. She parked right there next to them. And then had something to say about it. So, she actually deserved to get
she got what she deserved.
Yeah, people be wild out here, man.
Yes, straight up. Okay, so James Harden is going through, he's acting out. I don't know he's going through these tantrums or whatever. There was a report came out that he threw a ball at one of the rookies' heads in practice. And it seems like he's trying to act his way out of Houston. And even with all of the BS that's going on with him, I still can't for the life of me understand why, especially the teams that are named. He opened the teams up to the Celtics are now in play, the Raptors and the Nuggets, and the Sixers.
Who are the Raptors going to trade?
I don't know, dude. I mean, I don't know.
Like the Celtics not going to give up Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
They're not.
You might as well chunk that. They want another star. That's not going to happen. The Sixers, I'll give up Ben.
I would too. I don't understand. So I don't understand the mentality of these Philly fans who go, I'd rather keep Ben Simmons. We talked about this in nauseam, so I'm not going to get on the soapbox about it. But what is your take on that? Like, do y'all think that – where do y'all think he should go? And also I want to know, just for petty's sake, would you give up Ben?
Only thing I say about the bad part about this situation is his contract. He still got 2 full years in a player option.
Yeah.
Worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
Only way I'm trading for him is if I know he's dedicated to playing. Like, you're not going to come in here. You're not going to be in the strip club. You're not taking vacations with Meek. You're not going to do it. You're not going to be dream chasing and all. You're not doing it.
You're not going to be dream chasing. Not this year.
We're not doing that. Going to little baby birthday parties with honey buns. We're not doing that.
You got to chill.
But coming to Philly, trade Ben, give up a young player. Don't give up Maxey. Don't give up Maxey at all. Don't even give up. I really don't want them to give up Matisse because he plays defense. But like,
bro, you got to give up anybody. I'm giving up everybody on the roster.
What do Ben do for Philly that really makes a difference? Play defense?
Nothing. Okay. All I hear is defense. All people keep telling me is, well, Ben played defense. So Ben also don't play offense. So now what?
Plus, he got the 4th highest contract going into the year to average 13 points and 7 rebounds and don't shoot no jump shots.
No jump shots. So it's not just me. Are you giving up Ben, Mike? Would you put Ben up for Harden?
I would, yeah. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer.
I mean, but it just seems like for me, I think it's just the fans and just more of a loyalty. We got Ben. Keep hang on.
Philly fans are stupid. It's not loyalty.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
dumb.
Not loyalty.
No. Philly fans are absolutely delusional. I am not a Sixers fan. Philly fans are delusional, man. I have this argument every day. I argue about the Sixers every day with somebody. It's pure delusion. Huh. Even if you don't trade Ben, right? Because I get it. Oh, we don't want to let Ben go. Tobias has the next biggest contract you can trade. Mm-hmm. Nobody else in the National Basketball Association has no other team that wants Tobias Harris right now.
Right.
He is garbage right now. Why would they trade James for him?
Yeah, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that.
The Raptors they're not going to trade Spicy P.
Nah.
Or OG. They just signed both of them. All the teams that he want to go to got established rosters that are contending. They're not giving them young.
They will have to gut the rosters, especially teams that don't have.
I'm not doing that.
Star play, like a bona fide star. They will have to gut the roster to trade for him. But I think him on the Raptors makes sense to me. Like, I think that I could see James on the Raptors, and the Raptors. I would like to see him on the Raptors because now it makes the top of the East even more cluttered.
It looks good, but how does he get there?
Right. They're not treating Siakam and OG Anunoby. That's the biggest. That's their prize piece. They would them. OG just got signed before the year started. Yeah. 4 years, 80. Like they were. But my thing is, he's soft in the playoffs. He fold like a chair.
Who?
James Harden.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm not willing to trade my young boys for somebody that's going to fold.
You're right. But my thing is, if you in Philly and you got Ben Simmons ain't helped you in the playoffs at all.
Oh, Philly don't matter. It's a lose-lose either way. Neither one of them do nothing in the playoffs.
But the thing is, you will be better off. I'm not saying it's like the lesser of two evils, but you would definitely be better off with James Harden out of shape, straight out of
still averaging 44 and 17.
44 and 17. Straight out of Magic City.
In the first week of basketball, he's averaging
in the first week of basketball
and 17 assists.
The Sixers, Ben Simmons just led that team to an L against the Knicks.
Not the Knicks, the Cavs.
The Cavs. Even they're the same team. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter. The Bucks got dubbed by the Knicks.
Yeah. So that's another thing. But I'm talking about. Y'all getting blown out by the Cavaliers and got the nerve to tell me we don't need James Harden with bass in your voice. I don't understand it.
Bro, I don't even get involved in an argument no more because it's just a waste of breath. Like, you can't – Philly fans don't think with logic. They think with emotion. So they're emotional about giving up instead of thinking about it logically.
Emotional thing.
But it's dumb. Like, some people got to let it go.
It's dumb. But Harden
LeBron's my guy.
Yeah.
When he knew it was time to go, he had to go.
He had to go,
bro. Say less.
Yeah.
Like, y'all love Ben that much? Go ahead and root for Houston. I think you'll look good in the red jersey.
Period. Harden also got fined $50,000 for breaking COVID protocol for his time in Magic City, which he vehemently lied about and said that he was training. They asked him, "What you doing in Vegas?" "My trainers is out there." They said, "What you was training for?" And he said, "The NBA." Like, it was
you come back 50 pounds overweight.
It was all types of dumb. Before we get to the rapid fire and get out of here, so we had this has become a controversial topic, which I didn't think it was going to be. Okay, so we had Olden Polynice on last week. Shout out to Olden.
I knew it.
It was a great episode. Go check it out. Olden Polynice, 15-year NBA vet, has played for a couple of franchises. The thing was that we talked about Olden Polynice's draft night. He was actually he was traded for Scottie Pippen. So what happened was, the Bulls drafted Olden Polynice. They didn't draft Scottie Pippen. The Sonics drafted Scottie Pippen. Yep. But the Sonics wanted Olden and the Bulls wanted Scottie. So they had made this agreement before draft night that we're going to draft your guy and we're going to swap. I said, he told a story about it. It was an interesting story. It was a great interview. I said, I posted on social media, what How many wins do you guys think? How many
championship
rings?
wins?
How many rings do you guys think Jordan would have had if that trade would have never happened?
He wouldn't have 6.
If Michael Jordan played his career out with Olden Polynice instead of Scottie Pippen,
he wouldn't have got 6.
These dudes was out here pleading the fifth, backpedaling and ski popping all over this question. Like they was on trial for Tupac's murder. Like they was Donald Trump's lawyer. It was like it became the hardest question to answer in the history of sports. And I had no expectation of this happening. I'm talking about on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. JT himself was back here giving 6 and 7 answers. He gave me 4 numbers. And I said, JT, just give me one number. I said, just give me, 2 or 3 would be 2. And then if this happened, it could be 5 or 6. Our homie Warren was on Instagram giving me all these scenarios. The other hard thing that it must have been my fault. Because the other hard thing that I should have did was I should have put a little asterisk next to it and said, answer without using the name LeBron James. Because nobody could do that. Like 2 people did. It was like, I saw it, bro. The question was not about LeBron James. The question was about how many rings do you think Michael Jordan would have if that trade never happened? And
I'm gonna be. I don't know a number, but I know it wouldn't have been 6.
I feel like 2.
Because you feel like 2, Mike. So because I said throw out a number. I like 2. It's funny because the consensus from the people who actually gave an answer was actually 2 or 3. It was 2, so I think it would be more closer to 2. I think I heard more.
But this is why
it would be 2, and I would say 2.
Scottie was the dog. You know what I'm saying? Like people forget that. Like Mike played defense, but Scottie guarded the best player.
All the time.
They forget in that chip when they first won and they played the Lakers when Magic Johnson whooped on Michael and gave him a triple dub.
Yep.
Phil said, you know what, Mike? I'm gonna let you work off the ball. Scottie, go get him.
Yep.
From there, Magic City got shut down. Yeah. It wasn't no more show.
No more lemon pepper wings.
None of that. I think that, you know what it is? Like people are so caught up on the high of, oh my God, it's just Michael Jordan, he can do no wrong. Yeah. They forget, like logically, like, bro, Mike did not win until he got there.
But not only that,
got there, they didn't win right away.
But not only that, I didn't know it showed such a conviction. It showed such a like y'all spirits was vexed by this question that y'all couldn't even answer the question. Bro, I was like people could not even. I'm talking about, bro. Before you get to you gave me an answer about. You gave me a comments that backed up your answer. These dudes couldn't even answer. They couldn't bring themselves to answer the question. Leonard was giving me like plead the fifth answers. Like, Leonard said some stuff like, "I just can't speculate on sports." What? I don't understand. All we do is speculate. Like, wait, what? He jumped in the comments and said, "Yeah, I don't really do the. We can't do the ifs and buts about sports." I say all of our lives. All we've been doing is like, speculate, and that's all you do in a barbershop is speculate on this and this what would have happened in it. So I just asked for your opinion, and all of a sudden you say I literally can't give an answer. I gotta call my lawyer first. I can't speculate on sports. It's not ethical for me to give you an answer. I don't know how many. It was like, what the hell is going on today? Like,
I was reading the comments like, y'all crazy, man.
Bro, the comment if amuse yourself and go back and read the comments, whether it's on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, about this question, because I'm talking about dudes was backpedaling like they was facing 5 to life. And it was like, yo, just answer the question. It's a couple dudes who still haven't answered the question. It's 48 hours later.
JT was like, he would have won the same amount of as LeBron if he would have.
I said, how many is that, JT?
Come on, JT.
Somebody give me an answer.
But why do LeBron got to come in this argument? LeBron has nothing to do with a Scottie Pippen.
It's the conviction, though. It's the conviction. It's the conviction. It convicted them because LeBron had nothing to do with it. Like I'm talking about when I posed the question to y'all today. Did I mention LeBron?
No.
I literally. I'm talking about when we talked about it on the podcast. I didn't mention LeBron. It literally had nothing to do with LeBron. It had nothing to do with LeBron, and so And so I said that to JT. I said, well, this question has nothing to do with LeBron. I don't know why y'all keep bringing it up. He said, well, because everybody knows you just want to know in comparison to LeBron's rings. I said, JT, if you know me, anybody who knows me knows I don't care about how many rings. I don't compare nobody else's rings to LeBron's rings because it ain't about the rings to me. Because by that logic, Jordan is not by that logic, if we're just going by rings, then Michael Jordan himself cannot be your GOAT. So I don't do the ring thing because I don't care that Jordan has more rings than LeBron. He's still not the GOAT to me. So you can't tell me you just thought that it was about the ring because I posed the question. Because I didn't say I've never been it's only about the rings guy.
It can't be. Robert Horry got more rings than
Robert Horry got more rings than Michael Jordan.
Right.
Is Robert Horry the GOAT?
You mean not at all?
Is Will Chamberlain the GOAT? Is Bill Russell the GOAT?
If anybody, I would give it to Bill. He got the mo. He got 11.
So if that's what we going by, keep the same imagery and just say Bill Russell was the GOAT. But it wasn't about the rings. It was about how many do you think Michael Jordan would have? And the consensus of people who answered said
2 to 3. Yeah, 2 to 3.
Or 3.
I like that number. Yeah, I like that number. Definitely not 6. Definitely
we'll
not
see.
6.
It's definitely not 6. Somebody, I think it was Chad's brother, Rick, jumped in the comments and said he would have 6 or some foolishness.
Nah, man.
It's not. But we'll see if maybe JT will answer the question next week. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We're gonna get out of here on these rapid fire topics. Jared Goff is out for the last game versus the Cardinals because of a thumb issue. John Wolford will start. The Rams need the game to get into the playoffs, so this is going to be interesting.
They're gonna lose.
Yeah, it's not.
I agree.
It's not looking good for them. Yeah, I think we all kind of got them taking the L. B mentioned it. Spencer Dinwiddie is out with a partially torn ACL. It looks like it doesn't look like it's season ending so far from
No. I read an article. They say he might be back by next season.
Oh, so it is season ending.
Yeah. That's what they're saying right now. Yeah.
That could be a big deal though, because he was the ball handler behind Kyrie Irving, and so that definitely that might play out to be a big deal, and we'll see if that changes how they look at the James Harden trade, because initially that was the team that they wanted James to go to.
The Rockets only want Kyrie,
which they would be smart to. Why would I give up James Harden for anything less? You know what I mean?
Right.
Doesn't make sense.
Not at all.
No. Doesn't make any sense. Ja Morant left the game versus the Nets in a wheelchair. He turned his ankle. It looked pretty bad. But turns out the good news is that it was only a sprain, and he should only be out for 2 to 3 weeks.
No. 3 to 5. He got a 3 to 5 sprain.
Okay, I heard 2 to 3, but
that's a bad job. I had bad ankle sprain. 3 to 5. Yeah. He jumped high.
It looked, but when you hear
it looked worse.
When you hear somebody got to take a wheelchair up out of here, then I was thinking I was scared that he was gonna be out for the season.
When he jumped down, I thought it was his knee. The way he jumped back, I thought he popped something in his knee. So when they say ankle, I'm like, all right, cool, because I like Ja, but grade 2 ankle sprain, that's tough.
Yeah. So the good news is it was scary how he hopped off. But the good news is it'll only be a couple weeks, and he'll be back. Adam Silver says that there is currently no plan for an NBA All-Star weekend. How y'all feel about no All-Star weekend? I don't like that.
I don't like it at all, but I get why.
I don't like it either. But I mean, I think you can figure something out, man.
Yeah,
I don't like it, but I get why.
I get it. We in a pandemic, but at the same time, we don't have to have fans. Figure something out. Do something.
I feel like maybe it could just be an All-Star game and not the whole weekend.
Something like that, man. I look at all these.
Yeah, what you say?
No, I'm saying I'm just looking at all these other different sports. Even when quarantine first started, you got the UFC, NBA. I'm just like, listen, bro, just figure out something. You're professionals. You have the money.
Yeah.
Figure out something, fam.
Figure out something. That's your job also. So, you get paid millions of dollars to figure something out. I think even if you do, at the very least, a celebrity game, a dunk contest, and an all-star game. That's 3 events.
That's it.
You can give them, put in a little bubble. You can give, the guys some time off, which would be beneficial. And then we still get something. We don't have to have fans in the stands to have All-Star weekend.
All-Star game.
So I think figure it out. There's enough time to figure out when you can do an All-Star weekend, where you can do it, make it a little bubble situation, have everybody just on a camp, go back to Disneyland or Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
Have All-Star weekend at Disney World, have it a complete bubble situation, and do a celebrity game and do a dunk contest and do All-Star game. That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You know what I mean? And then do some, let Snoop Dogg get out there and rap and you know, that y'all love Neo for some reason. So I'm sure you'll have him come back and sing a bunch of songs and you know, have a little thing around it.
For some reason.
I don't know who Neo is having sex with in the NBA office, but I'm talking about like Neo ain't had a record out in 50 years, y'all. He's on every NBA. He did opening NBA this year. Somebody loved him in the front office, but more power to Neo for getting that money. The NBA fines Daryl Morey $50K for tampering. He posted a tweet about James Harden's anniversary in Houston, and you know, they ended up finding him about it. The more telling thing to me is that he's still in this love affair with James Harden, which means that I think he's going to find a way to get James Harden to Philly, and I think that he's smart enough to know that Ben Simmons ain't worth not making this deal.
Yeah, I think so too. So
hopefully that gets done soon. And then last but not least, Master P and Baron Davis are allegedly, reportedly in negotiations to buy Reebok.
I love it.
I love it too.
I love that move.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
2.4 bill. I love that move. That's a major move.
How much is it?
Yeah.
2.4 bill.
Yikes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And hopefully they can kind of revive Reebok a little bit. I mean, I know that you know, I've been seeing the Iversons come circulate. I got me a pair. And I've been seeing the
Kamikazes came back out too.
Yeah, I've been seeing the Iversons circulate. But Reebok needs some they need some blockbuster signings. They don't really.
They need a little bit. Yeah, I feel like they were starting to come back up, but they didn't quite clear the threshold.
They didn't hit.
Yeah. So
they'd be all right.
Yeah, they need to. But this will be cool. This will be a good PR move for them. And another black-owned product, and I'm here. We rooting for everything black over here. Mike Dupree, thank you so much for joining the show today.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Please tell the people where they can support and follow you and buy anything that you got coming up.
You can follow me. I am Mike Dupree on Instagram. That's IAM Mike Dupree, DUPREE. The podcast, please elaborate please elaborate podcast on Instagram. Same for Twitter. And anything that I have coming out, updates on me, you can go to MikeDupreeMusic.com, and that's where it's at.
Nice.
What's what days do the podcast come out?
Usually on Fridays. We've been off for the last 2, but we'll be back. We got some real special guests coming in after the new year, so it'll be real dope.
Yeah, another great podcast. So check that out when you can. B, thank you so much for joining the show today. In the last minute, we keeping the train on the tracks. We're trying to in apocalypse like everybody else is. So we was rolling with B today. So thanks for B for coming in at the last minute. B, tell the people where they can support and follow you as well.
You can follow me on Instagram at SSC_NASA. You shop for my clothes at societystandardclothing.com.
And B is going to, we're going to call B on the carpet. He's going to finally send us some. I've been asking. I got robbed. Full disclosure, small story before we get out of here. I had a tour bus broken into when we was on the road about 2-3 years ago now.
Yeah.
And I had a bag full of Society Standard hats that I had got from B in my book bag, and they stole my book bag out the van.
In my defense, COVID has
B told me then, he was like, I'm gonna send you some. B was like, I'm gonna send you a new joint, because I had a camel joint. The stuff is fire, y'all, straight up. And I'm not saying this because he's my homie. Like, if I didn't know B, I would rock some Society Standard clothing. So the stuff is fire. Go check it out. But I had a camo joint that I had from him, and a white joint, a black joint, and he was like, I'm gonna send you. I ain't seen my camo joint yet. I'm still waiting on my clothes from B.
You know what's crazy? He get married in July, so you know what I mean. I'm gonna have a whole year for him.
I need a whole leg. I need a whole leg. And bachelor party weekend comes, I need it then. I need it before July.
Say less.
So whenever we lock in the bachelor party weekend, That's what I need. I'm wearing my leg. Then
I got you.
We got him. Hey, we gonna hold him accountable.
I'm on camera. I got you.
We on record. This is official record right here. I'm at Joe Conner 33 on everything. Make sure that you go to the YouTube, like and subscribe, so you know. Turn on your notifications so you know when we are dropping another video. Continue to comment and argue and share the videos because you guys are helping us grow every week. Subscribe to the YouTube even if you don't listen every week. Make sure you subscribe and tell somebody else to subscribe. We black-owned business over here too. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
so
sir.
we trying to grow. We trying to grow things. You can follow JT at JT Harker. He again, prayers and thoughts go out to JT and his family, and you know, and everybody at this time that's dealing with some stuff. So we want y'all to be safe and make sure that you are being conscious of others out there. We all got COVID fatigue. Trust me, I got it too. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for continuing to share and follow and stream. Until next time, be safe and be great. Peace.